I'm really wanting to do some outside projects, but it is just too cold out here. The wind will cut you in two. I've got a few things I need to do. No, I'm not doing them. Hey y'all, welcome back to the ProjectDIY channel. On today's project, we're going to be installing an outlet behind the TV so that we can hide all these wires and stuff coming from the TV. Let's get started. So the whole purpose of putting a TV on a wall mount is to kind of make it look clean, get it up off of any furniture, mount it to the wall. Looks really good that way. But what you don't want to have is, like in my case, having cords hanging down from the back of the TV. It just makes it look very unprofessional. What we're going to do today is we're going to install an outlet in behind the TV so that we can plug everything up. I've got a Polk sound bar that'll need to plug into that. The TV will plug into it also. And also my LED backlights will plug into that outlet. I've got an outlet down here on the bottom. So what my plan is I'm going to run some Romex cable, which is electrical wire, from this outlet down here inside the wall to a new outlet right in behind the TV. On my video that I have about mounting this TV to the wall, which I'll link right here, or maybe here, I don't know, whichever one it is. It'll be linked somewhere. One of the biggest questions that I've gotten asked is how to find the studs in the wall. But we'll need to find studs in the wall in this instance because I need to be able to run that cable between those studs from the outlet on the floor or down close to the floor up to where the new outlet is. I don't want to have to go across either way and go through a stud. So I need to know where those studs are in relation to my current outlet so I can avoid that. So since I had a lot of those questions about the studs in the wall, I'll be showing you a few options of how you can locate studs in your wall in case you need to find them for, say for instance, mounting the TV to the wall, or in this case also adding an outlet in behind your TV. This may seem like a simple explanation, but some people may ask, what are studs? So your drywall in your home comes in 4x8 sheets, and that has to mount to something. When they build the walls, they build those out of 2x4 lumber, and there are studs running from the bottom to the top all the way down. Most of the time 16 inches, sometimes they can be 24, it just depends. Every so often there'll be a stud. Those studs are much stronger than this drywall. Now I've heard people say that they can hang a TV from drywall without using studs. I'm not hanging my expensive TV by the drywall and not a stud. You can make your own decision on that. So anyway, these studs are what the drywall attaches to. Also on those studs, there are usually electrical boxes nailed to them, and then they cut a hole in the drywall, fit the drywall over the box, and the box sticks through. That's how you have your outlet on the outside of the drywall. But in between these studs, most of the time there's insulation, there can be fire breaks in between there. So there's about 3 different ways that I know of to find where your studs are in your wall. Number one, and this may not work for you, depending on how well your drywall installer did, maybe he did a perfect job and you can't see it. I've never seen that happen. But you can get along the side of the wall with a light source shining at you, and you can see the reflection off of the wall. Where there's a stud and the drywall mounts to the stud, a lot of times you can see where the nail holes were. So those were filled in and painted over. But sometimes you can just barely see an indentation where the screws or nails, whatever they used, are at. Since these are 4x8 sheets, everywhere a sheet butts up to a new one, there'll be a strip of tape from the top to the bottom with drywall mud on it. And a lot of times from that reflection, you can see that line where it was taped at. And that's how you can see where your studs are. The second way to tell is with a hammer. In my case, the butt of a screwdriver is just what I have handy. And you can tap on the wall. And when you come to a stud in the wall where that drywall is screwed, secured to that stud, the sound will change. And you just go across your wall and just know that about somewhere in the neighborhood of every 16 inches, you'll find another stud. And you can usually find them pretty easy that way. Kind of demonstrate here. I don't know if you'll be able to hear the difference, but right there. there's a stud right there. Over here it sounds hollow. Right here you can hear the stud. When you're going across, you can hear that change. So that means right there's a stud in this wall. My preferred method is with one of these because I'm lazy. I bought this off Amazon. It was dirt cheap. And what this is a stud finder. You put this on your wall, slide it across, and the display and the sound will tell you when you come close to a stud. Now, mine in particular has a button on the side that you use to start it. Push that button, it gives you a display with bars that run up and down whenever you go across a stud. I'll give you a demonstration here how this works. Turn this on, and I have to select the type of 2x4 I'm looking for, which is 1.5 inches. Put it up on the wall, push the button on the side. All right, when the display clears, we're ready to go. We're just gonna slide across until we get a beep and see the display change. And we do have something on here. All right, the bar went up, and then we have an arrow pointing to the right, which means that we need to continue to move to the right. We're getting close to one. So we'll move to the right. Oh, now it wants me to move to the left. Right there. Now if you look up on top of this, there's a notch in it. And what that notch tells you is whenever it tells you on the display that you're in the center, that notch right there is the very center of the stud. So you would put a mark there to mark where your stud is in case you needed to find it again. So those are the 3 simplest methods that I know of to find a stud in the wall. Hopefully that helps all of you out there that asked the questions on the video of me mounting this TV on the wall, because I did mount it into the studs. So, and there was a bunch of questions on there. How do you find the studs in the wall? That's how I find them. All right, where I'm going to start with this is my outlet here. This outlet is a hollow wall outlet. It's not mounted to a stud, and it has these weird covers on it. And I just don't like them. So I'm going to pull this outlet, and I'm going to install another hollow wall box with a traditional outlet and cover on it. And I'll use my wiring in the wall, run into that box. And then I'll show you how I'm going to add the other wiring that'll run up to the top up here where my TV is. Now I know this gets said hundreds of times, but I don't think you can say it enough. Anytime you mess with electrical, make sure that your breaker is turned off. Don't need anybody getting electrocuted. Now this box, if you look at it from the side profile, has these tabs here on the front. The drywall sits behind these tabs on the top and on the bottom. If you'll notice, there's a couple of screws, one here, one here. When you turn those screws to tighten it up, this little flipper back here flips up. And what that does when you tighten that screw down is it pinches your drywall between those pieces on the front and the little flipper. So you tighten that down, that pinches in the drywall, top and bottom, and the box won't move. When you get ready to take this off, you unscrew this screw, and when you turn it to unscrew it, the flipper flips down out of the way. So the hole that we have to cut has to be big enough for this flipper to slide into the wall, top and the bottom. So the sides of the hole just have to be as wide as the box is. The top has to be big enough, tall enough rather, for the flipper to slide into. And the way you do that is if you look through here in the back, there's a couple of holes. And there's a piece that runs across the top. That piece also has to go inside the hole. So what you want to do is push this up against the wall like this, draw up and down the sides, and right here between these two pieces, draw a small line on the top and on the bottom. And that will give you your 4 sides so that you can cut your hole, and this box will fit perfect. So there you can see, after holding the box up, turning it around with the face of it against the drywall, putting a level on it to make sure it's level, drawing the lines. Now you can see I have 4 lines to be able to cut the hole in the wall. And all you have to do is just follow the lines as you're cutting it. All right, here's the hole in the wall. Box fits inside of the hole. hard to do one-handed. And you can see the ears that stick up on the top and the bottom won't go through the hole, so that keeps the box from falling down inside the wall. And then those flippers on the inside, whenever you tighten that down, will flip out, and they'll pinch this piece of drywall here and here between the ears and the flipper. And when you're cutting drywall, you want to use a drywall saw. This one I have is homemade. This is made from a Sawzall blade with just some tape wrapped around the handle. It needs to have a pointed end on it so you can get it started in the drywall, get the hole started, and then you just saw your way around it. The next thing I'm gonna do is run some wire. If you have a complicated area to run your wire through, or a space that's longer than mine, this is not but just maybe 4 feet. It's not a big deal. This wire is stiff enough that you can fish it through there pretty easy. If you have smaller wires or something like that, something not so stiff, you can buy a tape, and it's stiffer. It allows you to run that inside the wall, bring it out down at the bottom or wherever you're going to, and then you attach your wire to the end of that wherever it comes out, and you pull it back through. Fish tape is what that's called. That makes it a little easier. With this, just this short run, I'm just going to fish the wire down through the wall. There we go. We got the wire ran down through the wall. It's coming out the hole in the bottom. And there you go, guys. One outlet down here, connected to another outlet up here. All hides behind the TV, no wires. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this one. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. If you have any questions, make sure you put them in the comments. I'll be glad to answer any questions you have. The only thing that I ask is you like and subscribe. See you guys.